This has to be a record. Nobody's ever punted it from inside the 30-yard line, have they? They need to go for it.
Yeah, go for it or attempt a field goal.
I don't think I've ever seen someone punt it from inside the 30.
The sports gambling industry is a multi-billion-dollar operation. And with that kind of money on the line, nothing is left to chance. That's why most everyone who bets on sports, in the long run, 95% of them lose. So there's this popular saying, the house always wins. And in this case, it's true. As far as sports gambling is concerned, the house is clearly beating the public the majority of the time. So why is the public so bad at sports betting? And why do they keep coming back and losing more and more money? I'm here to give you the inside scoop on what's really going on. The main reason why the public loses the majority of their sports bets is very simple. The games are rigged and scripted. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you already know that. If you haven't figured out that the games are rigged and scripted, let me make it real easy for you. All the players on the field are pretending to play whatever sport it is that you're betting on. So for instance, the NFL is very popular amongst sports bettors. There's a lot of NFL fans out there. They have all the players on the field playing pretend football. The games are rigged and scripted. In fact, the entire product is rigged and scripted to beat the sports bettors the majority of the time. So I can actually give you a few direct examples of how the games are rigged and scripted specifically to beat sports gamblers. Look no further than the Browns versus the Raiders game from last week. Late in the fourth quarter, you had the Browns up by 14 points. They're in field goal range. It's 4th down and 2. Only a minute left in the game. And the Browns decide to punt the ball from the 29-yard line. The 29-yard line, when you're up by 14 points and you're in field goal range, a minute left to go, why wouldn't you just kick the field goal? Even if you miss, you're still going to win the game. The over-under in this game was 35 points. The amount of points scored at this point in the game was 34 points. When the Browns inexplicably punt the ball in a situation where no team would punt the ball for any reason, the only reason left is because they want to beat the sports bettors, specifically who bet the over in that game.
Well, pardon my French, but I'll be damned.
Here is a rule of thumb that I use. If there is a betting line, if you can bet on it on any of these sports betting apps, rest assured it is rigged and scripted. The Las Vegas sports books, these betting apps, and the pro sports leagues, they are not in the business of letting Joe Blow construction worker build his bank account, winning bets, betting on favorites. The sports books, they know that people are going to bet on teams that they think are good. And so the sports leagues and the sports books, they work hand in hand at duping people, deceiving people into making losing bets. That's how the whole operation works. If they can get Joe Blow construction worker to think that he knows which football team is going to win, if they can make Joe Blow construction worker who watches the NFL every week, wears a team jersey, goes to the sports bar and gets drunk with his friends, if they can convince that guy to throw down money on these games with confidence because he thinks he knows which team is better, And then they can pull the rug out from under Joe Blow construction worker at any time because all the players on the field are playing pretend football. And they know that Joe Blow construction worker, who's betting on the games and getting drunk at the sports bar, he doesn't know that the games are fake and phony. So the sports gamblers who still think that these sports games are actual athletic contests, they're putting their money on the line thinking that they know which team is better, thinking that they know which team is going to win, thinking that they know what the outcome is going to be. And that's what the whole business is centered upon. Tricking sports fans into becoming sports bettors by convincing them that they know who will probably win, and making them confident enough to place their hard-earned money on the line. That's what the whole business is built around. Another reason why most people who bet on sports lose is because there's so many different things to bet on nowadays. There's so many different ways to lose your money. The NFL knows if you don't bet on the point spread, maybe you'll bet on the over-under. That's another way they can pull the rug out from underneath you. Oh, if you don't bet on the spread or the over-under, maybe you bet on player props. Well, they can pull the rug out from underneath you if you're betting on player props by just having players have a bad game. Or they can even have players have a fake injury during the phony game, right? So if you're one of these guys who likes to bet on player props, you think that a star wide receiver is going to have 100 yards and score a touchdown. All they have to do, if too much money comes in on that star wide receiver, is have that guy play a few plays and then come out of the game injured with a pulled hamstring. And then they collect that big pile of money that was bet on that receiver. The quarterbacks, if too many people think that a good quarterback is going to have a good game against a crappy team, that'll be a game where that supposed good quarterback throws 3 interceptions right to the other team. So if you really think about it, the sports leagues and the sports books, they hold all the cards. They get to make all the decisions as far as the results are concerned, and they can base those decisions on where the money is being bet. And so they have time before the games even start to look and see where the majority of the money is being bet. And then they can make a decision on what bets they're going to pay out and what bets they're going to rob the public, of course. And so as long as they beat the public on the majority of the bets across the board, they are always going to come out ahead. They are always going to be able to make profit on the public. So in the long run, one of the main reasons why the public always loses is because they don't hold any of the cards. As a sports gambler, you are guessing into their hand. You're doing your best to try and guess what the result is going to be. Meanwhile, since they hold all the cards, they get to decide what the result is going to be. So the fans in the stands and the fanboys who think that the games are real, they're still under the mindset that they're betting on a genuine sports contest. So when they put their money on the line, they think that they are betting on the athletic attributes of the players on the field. They think that they're betting on these teams as a whole and on the skill level of the teams. And that couldn't be any farther from the truth. All the players on the field are pretending to play whatever sport it is that you're betting on. And it doesn't matter whether it's baseball, football, basketball, you name it. All the players are nothing but actors in a big, huge Ponzi scheme. And the scheme is trick the sports bettors into putting their money on the line, thinking that they know what's going to happen. Make them feel confident enough to risk their hard-earned money on a sports contest that isn't actually a real, authentic sports contest. Can you believe that? this multi-billion-dollar racket is centered around tricking people into thinking they know what's going to happen in a scripted event. A scripted event where the sports books and the league can see all of the money on the line. So if you've made it this far in the video and you would like to see more examples of how sports are rigged and scripted, check out my top 10 most rigged plays of the week. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss any of my content. Make sure you have the little bell turned on so you get all the notifications. And I will catch you in the next video. Peace.